The year is 2007. The X Games skateboard big air event is in full swing, and the professional skateboarder Jake Brown is at the top of his game. He hopes to clinch the win by landing a 720 over the mega ramp for the first time. But then, this happened.
Oh man, that was the heaviest slam we've ever seen.
Still, to this day, it is regarded as the worst skateboarding crash in X Games history. This is the story of Jake Brown. I hope you enjoy. Born on the 6th of September 1974 in Sydney, Australia, Jake Brown was just your average kid. Not too athletic, not too into sports, but he would quickly develop a big interest in skateboarding. He lived in Sydney with his mother until the age of 12, by which time he had already become a talented young skater. He would remain in Sydney, now living with his dad, until the age of 16, when he left this arrangement with his father to relocate to Melbourne to follow his passion, and began skating with vert legends such as the Pappas brothers, Jason Ellis and Gary Valentine. During an Australian tour in the mid-1990s, professional skateboarder Danny Way, the inventor of the legendary mega ramp, was so impressed by Brown's skateboarding that he actually encouraged him to relocate to the United States. Way explained in 2013, "The first time I met Jake, right then, I knew this kid has got some crazy talent. His ability to skate at 16 was abnormal, and it was obvious to me that Jake was going to be a future skateboarding star." At the time, skateboarding was not a form of paid employment for Australian-based skaters, and so, in 1996, Brown made the easy decision to move to Southern California and begin competing, and he would regularly appear as a contestant in the X Games events. Jake was virtually sponsorless when he arrived on American soil, but within no time he was picked up by Blind, a huge skate company based in California. Brown would then have a big part in their What If video and stood out above the other skaters. He would then go on to win almost every single contest he entered within the next few years. From winning gold medals at the X Games, half-pipe ramp comps in Beijing, Paris and France, to being named by Transworld as a 2005 Vert Skater of the Year. It seemed like Jake was an unstoppable force, to the point where he was even immortalized as a video game character in the Electronic Arts Skate video game series, debuting in the spin-off Skate It and also appearing in the highly regarded sequel, Skate 2. In 2006, legendary skater Danny Way had this to say about Jake: "He's innovating, he's progressing the sport, he's on the cutting edge in that small group of guys that moves the meter. He's someone that matters to this sport. The entire world of skateboarding respects him, and he's one of a few guys on the skate ramp that I personally look up to. He's a guy that I watch and think, what's Jake gonna do next? That's inspiring. That matters to the progression and the relevance of the sport, and he has global respect amongst the industry." And that brings us to the 2007 X Games event, the contest that exposed Jake Brown to the entire world. You all know the story. He somehow walked away from arguably the gnarliest slam of all time. After winning silver the previous year, Jake prepares for his 5th and final jump of the big air competition. His routine will be judged based on difficulty and execution of the tricks. Currently in first place, he hopes to clinch the win by completing the first ever 720-degree turn in big air competition. He completes 2 360-degree revolutions, but lands too far to the left. He carves his board to the right to adjust his position, but this throws off his timing. As he goes airborne, he straightens his crouched legs, propelling him 30 feet away from the quarterpipe. Desperately, he flails his legs, hoping to situate his body for a rolling landing. Unfortunately, this doesn't work. He falls 45 feet onto the hardwood floor. The impact was so violent that Brown's shoes flew off his feet and landed several meters away. Jake lays unconscious as the medical team rushes in. For 8 minutes, he is motionless, the crowd looking on in horror. Fortunately and miraculously, Jake regains consciousness and makes it back to his dressing room. His injuries included a fractured wrist, fractured vertebrae, bruised liver, bruised lung, ruptured spleen, and concussion. He was extremely lucky to survive. Put yourself in Jake's position. After taking a brutal slam like this, you may begin to start contemplating your future in skateboarding, whether or not it's worth it to continue pursuing greatness in a sport where you almost met your demise. Some may say that you'd be crazy to continue, that you'd been blessed with a second chance, and that you shouldn't take that in vain. However, others, people that know you, people that support you, look up to you, and understand what you're all about, well, they would say different. Because it is the love and the passion that you have for skateboarding, and nothing else can quite compare to the thrill of skating in the most prestigious competition in front of the largest crowd on the biggest ramp in the world. So, 2008, the very next year, Brown is already seeking redemption. It's the Big Air Finals at xgames 14, as Jake makes his way to the top of a 60-foot drop-in and prepares to redeem himself and land the very same run that almost ended his life the year prior. His mother Jan watches on in earnest, hoping that this time things will go much better than before. He takes one last look at the ramp below and drops in.
What? Yes, indeed! Jake Brown is back in the building. How do you like them apples? Wow.
Jake
I got
Brown.
chicken skin, Chris. I got chicken skin.
Unbelievable.
And there it was. Jake was back. Following this, he would then appear on the TV programs Larry King Live, The Today Show, Shockwave, Most Daring, Destroyed in Seconds, and also starred on MTV. Brown would then return to the Big Air ramp again at the 2009 X Games in LA. He won the gold medal, fully reinforcing his talent as a pro skater. He defended his title the next year in 2010. As of September 2013, Brown was sponsored by Monster Energy, Real Life Pillage, Spitfire Wheels, and Independent Trucks. He would then go on to create his own clothing company, Laced, and would describe it as a brand that lives by the wisdom that everything and everyone is connected. It's not a religion, it's a revolution. His company would donate food and clothing to homeless people in the area nearby the Staples Center venue, where the X Games was held for 11 years. And they also worked in partnership with Homeboy Industries, a company that provides opportunities for ex-gang members according to the motto of jobs, not jails. And so we have arrived at the end of our story, and I wanted to finish with this quote from Bob Burnquist. Even if Jake hadn't won any X Games medals ever, and he does, he has 6, including a couple of golds. Well, even if he hadn't, it doesn't matter, because he's a giant in skateboarding. He's one of those guys that's not just a competition guy. He progresses. He's been one of my favorites for a long time. His approach to skateboarding, his style, his personality, he's just unique. There's no one else quite like him. Thank you for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this one. New video coming next week.